You're 16 years old, sitting in the middle of your parents' divorce. The shouting is loud, the atmosphere is heavy, and your world is shrinking. Most kids at this point bury themselves in schoolwork, hide in their rooms, or find a hobby that doesn't involve handcuffs. You? You look at the situation and think, if reality sucks, maybe I'll just make a better one, out of lies. It starts small, almost innocent. Your father, a proud man who taught you charm like other dads teach baseball, gives you a credit card for gas. You notice something interesting. You can buy auto parts on that card and return them for cash. The store doesn't care. The card company doesn't care. And you? Well, you start caring about just how big that cash stack can get. Pretty soon, you're not a 16-year-old kid anymore. You're a 16-year-old kid in better clothes than half the men at your dad's Rotary Club. Your dad raises an eyebrow. Where's all this coming from, Frankie? You smile and say, part-time work. Which is technically true, because the other part of the time you're busy inventing crimes you haven't tried yet. But then your parents split and you can't stand it. You run away. You're broke, angry, and determined to never be powerless again. And one day, standing in an airport, you see them. Pan Am pilots. Crisp uniforms. Gold stripes. People parting like the Red Sea. In that moment, you don't see pilots. You see gods. And you decide you're going to be one. The plan is insane. You call Pan Am, claim you've lost your uniform. You pour on the charm and they send you a new one. No questions asked. This is the 1960s. ID checks are practically non-existent. Back then, you could walk into the cockpit with a smile and the confidence of a man who's about to make up everything. Now you're striding through airports, cap on your head, wings on your chest. You discover deadheading, riding in the jump seat for free. Airlines just wave you on. You rack up hundreds of thousands of miles, and Pan Am foots the bill for your hotels, your meals, your lifestyle. You even carry a fake employee ID that looks so real you half expect it to start giving you actual paychecks. The funny part? You've never flown a plane. You wouldn't even know which button turns on the seatbelt sign. If someone had yelled, "We're going down," you'd have probably offered them a drink instead of a flight plan. The pilot life funds your real talent, check fraud. You learn how to wash checks in chemicals, how to print them on special paper, how to forge signatures so perfect even the people who sign them can't tell the difference. You float fake checks between banks, each deposit covering the last withdrawal. It's not just theft, it's a performance. By the time you're done, you've stolen over $2 million. In today's money, that's well over 15 million. Enough to buy an island. Or in your case, a lot of very nice suits and hotel room service. But you're restless. You need new disguises. So you decide, why not be a doctor? You forge a diploma, create a resume, and somehow land a job as the supervising pediatrician at a Georgia hospital. You last 11 months. 11 months of pretending to know what you're doing. Thankfully, you realize pretty early on that actually touching patients is a fast way to end up in prison for murder. So you stick to supervising interns. And because they're so terrified of making mistakes, they never ask why you never pick up a scalpel. Your main medical contribution? Nodding seriously while saying, "Run more tests." That, and trying not to faint in the maternity ward. But medicine gets boring too. So you think law. That's respectable. Plus no blood. You forge a Harvard law diploma, apply to work in Louisiana, and take the bar exam. You pass. Which says something about your intelligence, or maybe something about Louisiana's standards in the 1960s. Either way, you're in. You work for the state attorney general's office for 8 months before deciding the courtroom isn't exciting enough without handcuffs on you. Meanwhile, you've got a shadow. FBI agent Joe Shea. This guy is relentless. He studies your moves, your habits, your style. Every time he's close, you're gone. You're moving across states, countries, oceans. You're swapping identities like most people swap shirts. If LinkedIn had existed, you'd have had profiles for pilot, doctor, lawyer, and probably pope, all with glowing recommendations. But in 1969, your luck runs out. You're in France, walking through an airport, when a flight attendant you once dated spots you. She remembers your face from a wanted poster. You get arrested on the spot. You spend 6 months in a French prison. And if you're picturing croissants and wine, no. Try bread crusts, water, and a damp cell that smells like it was built in the Middle Ages and never cleaned. You lose weight, you lose sleep, you lose the will to flirt with guards. From France, you're sent to Sweden. Then extradited to the US back home, you're sentenced to 12 years in federal prison. And then, a miracle. The FBI comes to you with an offer: work for us. Help us catch forgers. Help us stop people like you. In exchange, you can serve your sentence under their supervision instead of behind bars. It's the perfect irony. The man who spent years making the FBI look like amateurs is now on their payroll. Somewhere karma is slow clapping. You take the deal, and you're good at it. You know every trick in the book because you wrote the book. Banks hire you to train their staff. Corporations pay you to lecture about fraud prevention. For the first time in years, you sleep without wondering who's chasing you. Years pass. You marry. You have kids. You live quietly. And then Hollywood calls. They want your life story. It becomes a book. Then a film. Catch Me If You Can. Leonardo DiCaprio plays you. Tom Hanks plays Joe Shea, the man who once chased you halfway across the world. Millions watch your story unfold, half in awe, half in disbelief. And they all realize the same thing. You weren't just running from the law. You were running from ordinary life. And for a while, you outran it. Not bad for a kid who just wanted gas money.